evolving, and some of them have real solid science behind them, and some of them just leave you with very expensive pee. Alright guys, in this video I am unpacking the top 5 most talked about peptides to stack with the GLP-1. We're going over the myths and the science behind them and the keys to sleep recovery, muscle, gut healing, and all of the top stacks that you should know. Now, it's incredibly awesome how quickly biohacking is evolving, and some of them have real solid science behind them, and some of them just leave you with very expensive pee. And a couple of them have actual real genuine risks too. So let's kind of jump into it and stick around, because at the end of this video, I'm going to share one super peptide that cuts through everything. And if you're new to the channel, by the way, I'm Ben. Hi, I'm a weight loss coach and a nutrition specialist, not a doctor. Nothing in this video is a protocol. It's not a dose or a recommendation. Every single one of these is a conversation that you should be having with a licensed provider. My job is simply to hand you the map so that you don't walk into that conversation, or worse, into some sketchy website completely blind. So first, why is everyone suddenly talking about peptides now? Why does it feel like peptides went from bodybuilder forums to your aunt's book club overnight? Well, because the rules just changed. Back in 2023, the FDA essentially shut the door on compounding about 19 popular peptides. They put them in a bucket called Category 2, which meant licensed pharmacies couldn't legally make them, and this caused the whole scene to go underground. Then in February of this year, HHS announced that about 14 of those peptides are actually coming back. This means licensed compounding pharmacies can legally prepare them again with a prescription. Now that kicked in this spring, and the FDA's advisory committee formally reviewed them just last month. Now here's the sentence though I would really love you guys tattoo somewheres, right? Legal to compound again is not the same as FDA approved. Think of it kind of like this. They reopened the farmer's market. They didn't go and inspect every single vendor. But anyway, let's go jump in. So, starting with the celebrity, BPC-15. Now, if you've heard of exactly one peptide, it's probably this one. BPC is a synthetic fragment of protein found in stomach juice, and the internet has crowned it the healing peptide. Tissue repair, gut health, inflammation. God, Joe from the gym swears to fix his elbow. Right now, GLP-1 users are stacking it for 2 reasons that actually make a lot of sense on paper. GLP-1s can beat up your gut, they cause nausea, digestion issues, and people losing weight are often training hard and want to recover faster. So the gut and healing peptide kind of sounds like the perfect sidekick. Now, when it comes to the scientific evidence, the animal data is actually genuinely interesting. However, the human data is a little bit more thin and not super existent. There's decades of rat studies, but not so many official real human trials. That being said, it's one of the most famous peptides in the world with the least paperwork to back it up. And there are, though, thousands and thousands of people who have reported positive effects from it. So how does it work? Well, it triggers new blood vessel growth, also called angiogenesis. So think about how often tendon and ligament injury is so difficult to recover from because there isn't much blood flow to those areas. BPC-157 helps bypass that by forcing new microvessels to sprout and deliver oxygen and healing nutrients directly to the injured site. Next up, number 2, is really a duo and perhaps the most commonly misunderstood peptides, Ipamorelin and CJC-1295. So these are growth hormone secretagogues, which means that they nudge your own body to release more growth hormone. Now, why do GLP-1 users want them? It's really one word: muscle. Right? So the biggest fear on a GLP-1 in 2026 is that a chunk of the weight you lose is muscle, not fat. And this is important because the combined effect of losing muscle and significant weight on a low-calorie diet long-term is that your metabolism is going to slow down, making it easier for your body to gain weight back. So anything promising to protect muscle, improve sleep, help recovery, people are lining up for it. But how does Ipamorelin actually work? Well, instead of mimicking growth hormone releasing hormone, GHRH, which as the name suggests, produces growth hormone, it mimics the hormone ghrelin, which is your body's emergency growth hormone system that is released when you're hungry, i.e. when your body thinks resources are limited. So the end result is the same as GHRH, but the process is different. Next, when we bring in CJC-1295, CJC works on GHRH, growth hormone producing hormone pathway. So you get dramatically more of the same end goal, but from multiple pathways. Think instead of 1 + 1 = 2, it actually equals 5. Now, as far as the scientific evidence, this one has never been approved for human use, but the mechanism is real. Studies have shown genuine increase in growth hormone release. But listen, your growth hormone axis is not a light switch that you should just swip on because a podcast said so. Messing with hormones is the deepest end of this pool. And here's my real feedback as a coach. The actual reported benefits from people using it often end up falling along the lines of better, deeper sleep and waking up feeling better with increased recovery, not necessarily sprouting Hulk-like muscles all of a sudden. Now, number 3 on the list is an interesting one, Tesamorelin. Because unlike everything else in this video, Tesamorelin is actually FDA approved, full approval. And yes, it can burn away that stubborn, dangerous, visceral body fat in your body while protecting muscle, improving liver function, and sharpening your mind. Now, Tesamorelin helps the pituitary gland that lives at the base of your brain send out more growth hormone, which is a crazy strong fat oxidizer. It's the signal our fat also uses to get its ass out of storage. But get this, visceral fat is that inflammatory sticky fat around your organs actually has the potential to kill you faster. And it also has more receptors for growth hormone than the other types of fat. So it's more receptive to the growth hormone. It's kind of like a magnet that pulls the fat into the sun to be melted away like a vampire. Now, one catch though, it's approved for a specific medical condition only, HIV-associated lipodystrophy. And a normal fat distribution issues, which statistically is probably not what you have. So here's the honest answer, right? Tesamorelin is the one legitimate diploma in the room. Science is real. However, whether it applies to you off-label is a physician's judgment call, not mine. Next is one of the coolest peptides for longevity that is secretly hiding in your mitochondria, MOTS-c. This one's pitched as the mitochondrial peptide. Exercise in a vial, metabolic magic energy for days. Now, why it gets stacked with GLP-1s is pretty obvious. You're losing weight, someone offers you a shot that supposedly boosts your metabolism and mimics exercise. Sounds like peanut butter and jelly, right? So what actually is it? It's a 16 amino acid peptide found in mitochondria, which basically controls our energy production and is naturally in our body. Now, we see surges of it primarily during and right after exercise. Now, the problem is that as you get older, the level of MOTS-c decreases. How does that work though? Well, essentially, MOTS-c sends the message to your cells to ramp up your metabolism in order to use energy more effectively by increasing insulin sensitivity, which allows your cells to grab sugar straight from your bloodstreams into the cells to use it and force them to burn through stored fatty acids that block those same insulin receptors. Now, the early research is legitimately fascinating, and with lots of mice studies and growing human studies, we may see official use approved in the near future. And remember that often with powerful benefits also come more serious side effect risks. With MOTS-c, stories of big ol' injection welts lasting weeks, intense jitteriness, and blood sugar crashes are also reported. Now, moving on, we have TB500. This is BPC 157's partner in what the internet lovely calls the Wolverine stack, because apparently if you inject both, you heal like a mutant superhero. That's the pitch anyway. Now, I was actually incredibly skeptical. TB500's human evidence is even thinner than BPC 157's. This one's lived almost entirely in gray market territory. But recently, as I've been diving deeper into the research, I am starting to actually believe this might be the best thing since whey protein. So TB500 comes from a naturally occurring protein in your body called thiamine beta 4. Now, researchers stumbled upon it when they were investigating healing in the immune system like 30, 40 years ago. But what they found was that a specific protein was showing up anytime there was tissue damage, i.e. thiamine beta 4. And they found that it was helping cellular repair throughout the whole body, not just the injured location. So this brings me to the part of the video that actually matters most, guys. Remember those 19 peptides that the FDA restricted? 14 are coming back. 5 are not, okay? Melanotan II, GHRP2, GHRP6, LL37, and PEG-MGF. The same agency that just reopened the doors to the other 14 peptides looked at those 5 and said, nope, those stay out for safety reasons. When the doorman lets 14 people back into the club and keeps 5 outside, you better believe the doorman. Okay, so if anyone tries to sell you those 5, that's not a gray market thing, that's a walk away thing. And one more time, because it really applies to the whole video. If the label says research grade or not for human use, you should walk away even if it's cheaper. You don't know the dose, you don't know the purity, whether it's even the molecule on the label. You are literally playing chemistry roulette with a product whose entire legal strategy is pretending you're a laboratory. Okay, guys. 5 peptides, we've sorted them all. Now the question that's going to cut through every single one of them, this decade's peptides and next decade's peptides too, is Is a licensed provider prescribing this to you from a licensed pharmacy for a reason you have discussed, or are you buying a vial from a website because a guy with abs told you to? That's it. This is the entire framework. One path has medical professional, a real pharmacy, and accountability. The other has a checkout card and a disclaimer. Okay. And here's the order of operations if you're already on a GLP-1 and you're peptide curious. Protein first, resistance training second, sleep third. Then, whether you're a provider, ask whether any peptide actually adds anything on top. Peptides are like the spice rack. They're not the meal, okay? And most people reaching for the spice rack haven't cooked the meal yet, right? This muscle fear driving most of the stacking, right? That's just fear. The boring fundamentals actually solves most of it for free. Nobody sells them to you because nobody profits when you eat more chicken and you pick up a dumbbell. So here's the pattern that I'm seeing over and over. The people most tempted by peptide stacks are the people nobody's actually coaching. No one's watching their protein, no one checks their training, no one's answering their questions. So what do? They go looking for another vial to fill the gap. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't look into them or consider them. It just means please make sure you aren't majoring in the minors, okay? Now, if you're still early in the journey and you're deciding between the medications themselves, go watch my video, Semaglutide versus Tirzepatide versus retatrutide, broken down below, the link in the bio. And also you can go watch my honest ranking of online GLP-1 providers, that's right next to it. And guys, subscribe for more straight talk on GLP-1s and peptides with none of the hype. See you in the next video.